I'd like to start the December 2nd meeting of the Revere Conservation Commission. First item on the agenda is a roll call. Member Vincent Laria.
Yep.
Member Joseph Lavalley.
Here.
Member Vincent Camerata.
Here.
Member Ann Raponi.
Here.
And absent is Member Nicholas Melason. I'd like to wish Nick best wishes for the soldier surgery he's having today. And Member James Serboni is absent. And I'm Chairman Andrew B. DeSantis. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of November 4th, 2015. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I'll second, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Member Raponi and Camerata. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? So voted. Next item on the agenda is a vote for acceptance of a donation of land from Joseph Festa, lots 104 to 106 Bates Street, 13 parcels, 1 to 13 Bates Street. Do I have a motion to accept the donation of land?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by
Accept.
Member Joseph Lavelle.
I'll second,
Lavalley. Seconded by Member Vincent Camerata. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Voted in the affirmative. Fourth item is a public hearing, notice of intent, global companies. I don't see anybody here from global companies. What is the will of the commission on this? Hold it over to the next meeting? Motion by,
No one's here to speak about the global.
do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? And the fifth and final item is a request for a minor amendment for DEP file number 061 0647 770 778 Washington Ave, Revere. Curtis Young from Wetland Specialties will be presenting on it. We don't need to open a public hearing or anything. This is just a minor amendment that Kurt's going to
Okay, Mr.
explain, and then
Chairman.
we'll just vote on whether we want to accept it or not.
Revised order.
Andy, is this on?
It's green, it's on.
Green is on, okay.
Yep.
For the record, I'm Kurt Young from Wetlands Preservation Incorporated.
Yeah, just speak into the mic.
Is the mic
This
up there?
is, this is a minor modification request. As you have probably seen on a number of different projects, as a project develops into the construction phase, there's some small tweaks that get taken care of by the engineering department for Revere. And it's sort of the final engineering design plans are put together. And we've incorporated within this site plan a number of things, and I'll run through those all with you so that you know precisely what has changed. They are minor changes, but we thought it important to bring it to your attention so you have those. And in the document that we gave you, fairly 3/4 of an inch or so of paper, most of which is drainage analysis, the cover letter, the transmittal letter to you dated November 18th, identifies a number of changes to the site plan. And I thought I'd just quickly run through those so you understand what they are. If you have any questions about the whys or wherefores, more than happy to address them. And we'll see how portable this works. Do you all have copies of that letter? So with regard to project changes, you may recall that we had previously, Brookdale Street has now been changed to Spagnola Way. All right?
If I may ask a question on that.
Sure.
I'd like to ask you why the name was changed from Brookdale to Spagnola.
I have no idea. Dana, did you have any input in that?
Spagnola some years ago. It was Brookdale originally. Mr. Spagnola, I believe, got it changed to Spagnola Way how many years ago. We've been referring to it as Brookdale, and the engineering department wanted us to clarify that it is Spagnola.
20 to
He was the
30
only
years
occupant
ago
on it.
that it was changed, yeah.
But they didn't officially change it till now. Is
No,
that
it was officially changed,
as of now?
but not all the maps and records showed it as being Spagnola Way.
All of my book of maps, you get those indexes of maps for the, north of Boston area.
Yep.
They all had Brookdale. So I presume they'll all be changed over in time. It does take time for these changes to get put into all of the maps.
Just curious.
Yeah, no, good
Thank you.
question. Good question. Associated with Spagnola Way, back at about this location, we had originally proposed, at the request of Mr. Spagnola, to put a catch basin in and bring that water into our drainage system and to handle that in our infiltration system for stormwater management. And the city engineer did not want us to bring water from a public way into a private piece of property and control it there. So we eliminated that catch basin. We also eliminated a drain manhole, which that went into before it dropped into our drainage system, which comes together in the front of the site in the infiltration gallery at this point right here. While we eliminated the water that was coming down Spagnola from going into our drainage system, we kept the same size infiltrator. So we still have actually now more capability to infiltrate water from the site. So less likelihood that it'll ever be discharged through the overflow. So we reduced the amount of water coming into our drainage system, but kept the capacity of its original design flow. So that helps infiltrate basically all of the water that comes onto that site. There was associated with Spagnola Way some merging of Spagnola with the project in the back, the athletic fields in the back. And while the project will take responsibility for the sidewalk and for the curbing along its side of Spagnola Way, the city will take care of that reconstruction of the road, so it merges with the construction activities in the back. Just a sort of a detail as to who's going to do what to whom. There were very minor changes to the ADA, the handicap parking area and the ramp. This handicap space used to be over here. Now it's over here, so that access is up here and then up the ramp into the facility. I highlighted in orange here too, a transformer pad and a generator pad, concrete pad to put the generator and the transformers on. They were not in the original design plan. It slightly increased our impervious area on the site. We did drainage analyses, and these plans, as well as the document that you have, reflect that change.
A question on that? Is the location changed or just the pad
They were
added?
never specified. They were never specified in the original design drawings, so now they are.
But the location's the same then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We also added some of the plant lists right here that are used for some of the landscaping, and that's been added to this plan. So here's your plant list has been added. And this is, I might add, sheet 2 of the plan set that you got if you wanted to follow closer. One change that took place since this project was approved was that the flood zone went from elevation 8 to elevation 9. And we provided on sheet 2 revisions to the compensatory flood storage volumes on a foot-by-foot basis. And in all instances, we've got considerably more flood zone compensation than lost flood zone at each 1 foot interval by a factor of several fold. For instance, there's 908 cubic feet of volume filled between elevation 8 and 9, and we provide 7,106 cubic feet of compensation. So more than 7 times, almost 8 times the flood storage capacity on the site. A lot of that's accomplished by, you may recall, the back of the site was piled up with fill. So that's all being taken off the site now gradually. So, pipe penetrations are shown on one of the other detail sheets. I don't think that's particularly interesting to you guys. We do have and we've added a temporary construction access way in the front of the site off of Washington Avenue that they're using now at the present time. And probably most significant for this site plan is we brought the sewer line from the facility out beyond the limit of jurisdiction for the project. But now we have shown the design plan that brings it down Washington Avenue and out to the existing system in Marble Street for the interconnection. So that's not in jurisdiction, but it's a change in the design plans that you have in front of you. We put a couple more notes on there, put a fire plug in the front of the site down at this location at the request of the engineering department and probably the fire department as well. And that's pretty much it. So this set of site plans, while it, we've added the sewer to it, we've added some other details to it, is pretty much what you saw when you approved. But this includes all of the engineering design changes for the site in its totality, not just your jurisdiction, but for the sewer as well.
The driveways into the area mentioned at one time.
The driveway is shown on the plans, yes. Are you referring to the one that?
Yeah, coming out of Washington
Yeah,
Avenue?
that'll be right in through here, and around in the back,
Okay.
and in the front. And there will be no access through this portion of Spagnola Way. So there was at one point, you can still get in right in here, but there's nothing
Right.
back in this area. At one point, we had an entranceway in the back,
Okay.
where it is now. I'm sorry, where it is now.
That's good.
Where it was prior to construction. There was an access right about here, and that's not
Very
not
good,
there.
thank you.
There's a access to the site here and in the front.
Very good.
So these are, as I say, this is sort of a housekeeping trip to you to make sure that you have a set of site plans that are referenced that are the same as the engineering department's, planning board's site plans. So we're all dealing with one set of site plans.
It's a lot of work over there, doing a lot of work.
Yep, yep. From the standpoint of activities on the site, we're pretty well closed down for the season. We will be removing some of the fill material from the back of the site as we find people who will accept that and make use of it. But I would expect we'll have very little activity there until the springtime. Next year, we'll be doing monitoring throughout the winter as part of our NIPD's permit requirements and distributing those to you guys.
You may.
You are Joseph, are you not?
No, I'm Kurt Young.
Oh, okay. I see
Joe
Joseph's
Joe Orzell
signature.
works for me.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, he's
thank
been
you.
doing the last
You're
couple of-
Joe Young?
No, I'm Kurt Young.
Kurt Young.
Yep.
Thank you. I just want a little better explanation of what you mean when you say that all sidewalks on Washington Ave along the site frontage are to be removed and replaced in kind. It's the statement that says replaced in kind. If you could be more specific on what your plan is once that sidewalk is removed?
Sure. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the site prior to construction, but this was the old pool sales facility and construction facility, and the sidewalks were in very poor repair, concrete. They were,
Going on,
yeah. With construction, they've suffered more, but the good news is that they actually, as soon as construction begins to tail down and there's no need for heavy equipment access, they'll be reconstructed, basically concrete sidewalks and curbs. So they'll be restored so they're good functional sidewalks coming down and around the site, and this will actually lead into the park in the back.
They would extend to the area where the construction disturbed the original sidewalks, is that
Correct.
accurate?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And they'll extend actually beyond that,
It'll all look even when it's finished.
yes.
Isn't the whole
It won't,
frontage,
it won't be cut off at a certain point because it's,
isn't it the whole frontage, Curtis?
Say
The
that
whole
again.
frontage is being reconstructed?
All the frontage is being reconstructed.
All the sidewalk across the front of the project and down the side of the project on the Spagnolia Way side.
It was
Will be new.
not intended that it would be restored back to its original condition, but rather to a good concrete.
it'll be a good finishing
Yes,
off of the
yes,
sidewalk.
yes, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
What's the decision of the Conservation Commission on this? Approval or not? Motion? Motion by member Vincent Camerata
I'll second it.
to do what, Vin?
To approve it. What was the question?
Well, I said approve it or not.
Oh, which is,
Motion by member Vincent Camerata, seconded by member M. Raponi, to approve the request for minor amendments. All those in favor?
sorry about that, Mr. Chairman.
That's all right. Okay, voted in the affirmative. All right, so I actually have a order of conditions, a revised order of conditions referring to the new site plans to sign here. You're not off the record. Cameras are still on, the mics are still on.
Offices, we're looking for offices, as opposed to no restaurants. They're too small retail spaces. We're looking for office space.
Next item on the agenda is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Vincent Laria, second by,
Ian.
oh, okay. I thought you were making the motion, but I heard Vinnie.
I thought I was making the motion to
Yeah, but I
adjourn.
heard Vinnie first.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. All those in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Voted,
Quick read. I don't, let me.
adjourned at 4:34.